Brace yourself, sports and music fans, because every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Arizona time is GO time. Introducing one of the hottest, most entertaining, and downright addictive podcasts you'll ever need. PD&J Was Good Today. Hosted by none other than J-Dub the King and Pocket. These two dynamic personalities will keep you on the edge of your seat with their unique blend of humor, storytelling, and knowledge of sports and entertainment. And you know what makes it even better? They're live on YouTube and Facebook, so you can join the conversation and be a part of the action. We're always on the lookout for awesome guests to join us on the show. So if you think you've got what it takes to hang out with J-Dub the King and Pocket, then slide into our inbox at J-Dub the King. That's JDUBBTHAKING. And let's make some magic together. So what are you waiting for? You don't want to miss a single episode. See you on Wednesday. Don't miss out on the exclusive limited edition You Gon' Know Me t-shirts. That's right, You Gon' Know Me t-shirts are now available. Be sure to reach out to J-Dub the King to secure your very own t-shirt today. You can contact J-Dub the King via social media at J-Dub the King or through email at jdubtheking@gmail.com. But that's not all. While you're at it, make sure to keep up the hype by streaming the hit single You Gon' Know Me by J-Dub the King featuring Yuckmouth and Drew on all major digital platforms. Let's keep the momentum going.
Oh, what up, folks? What up? We live.
No, really? Really? Something good.
Oh, what up? I'm just going to my own shit. Anyway, brand new week, brand new Wednesday. You know what it is. Brand new episode of PD&J Was Good Today. I'm your host, Jet.
I am the other guy. Hi, what's going on?
The other guy.
Yeah, the other guy.
That guy, that's the other. Yeah. How y'all folks doing this week? How was last week for you? How was your week?
You know, it's been a hell of a week. Celebrated my other half this past weekend. She enjoyed it, which is the most important part. And then we celebrated our child yesterday, and we have party time this weekend for him. And then hopefully we got what, Super Bowl II.
Oh,
and then
wow.
you got, man, it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Oh, in case you know, Luka Doncic's on the Lakers now. You
You mad about that, huh?
No, I ain't mad at all. I ain't mad at all. The rest of the NBA is. But this guy's not. And most of Laker land isn't either.
I would say that would be the biggest trade in NBA history. I would say that. I honestly would say that. Not free agency, but trade, right?
Like they said, you've never had someone that hasn't hit their prime yet at 25. Traded with someone in their prime. Both All-NBA players, both averaging over 25 points, I think.
And the crazy part about it, they did it on the low. Like low.
Like they was in the cigar lounge talking about, you know, I've been thinking about this for a while. Let's do NBA 2K trade. Sure. No, I'm talking about in real life. Oh, really? What you got?
And I feel bad for Luka because he honestly
Just built a house.
You know what I mean? And he really thought he was going to spend his career in Dallas.
I applaud the owners, man. I really do. I applaud the owners in basketball because what's happened is it's a balance of power now. Now every single superstar is like, oh, shoot, that could be me. I better get my ish together. Because if not, no matter what
Now
I say.
Kyrie wants out of Dallas.
That's not true. That's not true. That was a meme. It was a meme. Kyrie's like, okay, because he always wanted to work with AD. That was another thing. He always wanted to work with AD. Now he gets his chance.
Well, we'll see what happens. That blockbuster trade. Chris Middleton's out of Milwaukee.
Yeah, but
He knew that.
He knew
But
that.
Kyle Kuzma, though.
Well, Middleton's not the same player he was, let alone 3-4 years ago. He's been hurt so much. Hasn't been his shot ain't working.
Washington for Kyle Kuzma. I mean, yeah.
That's another.
Like send him to a decent team where he can legit be a vet. You know what I mean? Like Washington. No.
So okay, you're gonna trade with these teams, but you gotta think, what are they going to get out of it?
I would send him to Brooklyn. I wouldn't send him
For who?
maybe Michael Bridges.
So wait. You want again? You want to make a trade with somebody that's close to their prime to somebody who's over the hill.
Hey, look, I think the Lakers with that Luka trade is the ones that made out on that trade. And the reason why is that they're looking past LeBron. They're looking into the future, and they're going to probably build around Luka. And I would guarantee you this. The Lakers will win another title with Luka before LeBron.
Well, actually, I'll say this. I think I know what you're trying to say. The Lakers won a title with Luka before they would have ever won another with LeBron and AD.
And Luka. If like right now,
there was no way they were gonna keep AD to get Luka.
Correct.
So,
but what I'm saying, like, we know LeBron is on the tail end of his career. He's going to retire within the next year. Within the next year or two.
Well,
right?
the thing is, they don't think he's gonna do it now. They think he's gonna, because he was even talking about, if you look at the interview they did with him a few months ago, maybe he said, "Oh, I think about 2-3 years left." That was a couple months ago, way before this trade. Way before this trade.
I don't think he got no more than 2 years in the tank.
I was like,
I really don't think he got no more than 2
Now,
years left in the tank.
If you look at how they were using him up to this point, I would agree with you. But now you're really taking a carbon copy of him and bringing him to this team.
With LeBron and Luka, the Lakers are not going to win the championship before LeBron retires. Now, with Luka after LeBron, yes.
I'm not going to say that because the whole thing is what people.
It would be a contender depending on how they build around that, right? Because yes, given LeBron, there is a lot of attributes that he has that if LeBron would retire, you would literally need about a good another 2 to 3 pieces to make up for that one play. You understand what I'm saying? So I get it would be like a reformat. It wouldn't be a rebuild. I think the Lakers, after LeBron retires, would end up going into a reset. They would still be competitive because Luka make them competitive. Now, who they put around him at that time would determine on a playoff contention, maybe even the finals run.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this. Let's look at Dallas last year.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the team they had.
They had a strong team.
They were strong until they made the finals.
Correct.
I will give you that. They were strong until they made the finals. But the problem with that team, Kyrie didn't show up.
Correct.
It was all on Luka.
I will give you that.
Yeah.
I do give you that.
But you got the same logic here.
Okay.
If you were to take LeBron, replace Kyrie with LeBron on that team last year,
You can't say that because I wouldn't. Kyrie doesn't fit with that squad. In LA, he does not fit.
you're not even listening to what I'm saying. You cut me off before. I'm talking about Dallas. I'm not even talking about LA.
Okay. So you put LeBron on Dallas.
You put LeBron on Dallas, replacing Kyrie
on Dallas.
That would
with that squad.
Yeah, that series would have went 7 games.
It would have been competitive.
It would have went 7 games. The difference is now you're putting Luka in the pick and roll against someone with the same.
But if you put LeBron in there, you got somebody that like Lyden, right? He was strong in the playoffs. You're now taking minutes away from him.
No, you're not. Here's what y'all forget. LeBron can play any position 1 to 5. How do we know that? Because guess what? In the playoffs last year, they tinkered with it during the season. In the playoffs, they had him playing the 5 during crunch time a few games. The problem was his usage rate was too high and he was worn down. Now, change it. Like this is why I said replace Kyrie with LeBron, right? Jason Kidd has a better idea of how to use LeBron. Why? Because he's already been with the Lakers, won a championship with the Lakers, and saw during that prime time, they didn't burn out LeBron. They had 2 bigs, Howard and McGee. Guess what Dallas had? 2 bigs. Lively, and I cannot think of the other guys. Daniel something. I can't think of his name. They had 2 bigs. You're taking that same lineup. The only thing you're changing out is Kyrie for LeBron. Why I say you make that one change? One, like I just said earlier, or like a few minutes ago, that Luka and LeBron, Luka has the same skill set on offense as LeBron. Defensively, this is where it will help Luka. Defensively. Because LeBron, we all know that he did make
You don't think LeBron is a better defensive player than Luka?
Oh, he's way better. He made all defense.
I would give you that because of strength.
Luka cannot play defense. Go back. If you think Luka can play defense, I don't know
He's always on with me.
He's
That's
not
the whole thing.
on defense.
I agree.
That's not.
I do agree because he doesn't close out on the perimeter. He doesn't do a lot of different things on defense, right? I do.
Put it this way. Go back and look at the Suns. They purposely would aim. They would go after him on the pick and roll.
We did. We sure the fuck did. We manipulated that.
Like Boston,
Especially when we had DeAndre Ayton.
right? Everybody would go to him because what would end up happening? They'd be like, let's get him on the big man to
Do
wear
you
it down.
think it would ever turn into a big man's game again?
Slowly but surely.
And I'm talking about big men like in our generation. Like I'm not talking about the Bill Russells or the Wilt Chamberlain. I'm talking about like the Shaqs and the motherfucking Alonzo Moore and Patrick Ewing.
I don't think. Here's the thing. I do not see it going to a big man down low, but I do see now the game is evolving where it's going to flow through the big man. If that makes any sense. I.e., Wembanyama, Embiid when he's healthy, AD, all these big men that are out there are very fluid, right? They can shoot.
Why are you telling Stephen A. fluid?
Did he say that?
He said they're very fluid. Yeah.
But the whole thing is the game still is getting to run to the big man. But the thing with the difference between Shaq and say Embiid and everything, he can pass, right? But he cannot pass on that level. However,
Embiid is a whole.
I just threw that name out there. Now, if I really wanted to go out and say AD, Joker.
Jokic. Yeah, okay, that's a better example.
Joker, but I didn't want to bring Joker because everybody brings Joker was in it in the
That
conversation.
man can pass. He got dimes.
But the whole thing
He
is,
got dimes.
his
Like,
IQ is ridiculous.
for the game, it's ridiculous. That's the big man that I respect in the game.
And I think, and what's funny, I was telling somebody there at work. I said, you know what? And he's from Denver. I was like, my biggest thing with Jokic, he could play in any era. People don't understand. He could play in any era.
Do you think he can play in the late 80s?
He could play in any era. Look at this man's
like
IQ.
that.
Look at his IQ. Look
I
at
can
his
just
IQ.
imagine.
He's not going to be a center, but he can play in any era.
So if that's the case, and if he got the mentality of that late 80s, I can imagine the fights that would have broken.
Because y'all forgetting, look at where this man came from.
With the Celtics, Lakers, Pistons, especially bad boy Pistons.
So those things,
Let Jokic play against the Pistons against Dennis Rodman, and they start fighting, bro.
again, y'all forget. Look at where this man came from. Remember, his brothers toughened this boy up.
Yeah.
He ain't no punk. He is not a punk. And think about what he did to the Mars. Was it Marquise? Mark, remember?
Yeah.
So don't sit there and tell me he can play in any era.
Hey,
His
bro.
IQ is off the chain.
You think he can play in the Bruce Bowen era?
Oh yeah, he could definitely play.
Oh, Bruce Bowen was the dirtiest player of that era, bro.
I
He was the dirtiest player in the league. And they put him in the Hall of Fame.
This is what happens with a war-torn sort.
Oh, man.
But I agree with him. Because Bruce Bowen, that bow tie wearing mother. Ooh.
How do you hip check the motherfucker into the goddamn and then break his nose?
Hip check him into the front.
Into the announcer's desk, over the announcer's desk, into the seats.
And his nose get broke.
And
And you don't get suspended. You forgot about that. Well, no, he was out of the game. He was out of the game because
you blatantly did it. Hit tackle. Replay shows that they show that shit over and over. And Steve Nash gets his goddamn nose broken.
that was the championship year.
That was, and he stole it. Fuck you, Bruce Bowen. Fuck you.
Hashtag Bruce Bowen, you suck. But I would, you know what? He is a top defender of that era. Not the top defender, a top defender.
He was trying to make a name for himself.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was trying to put it, because they wanted to compare him to Dennis Rodman
Yep.
at that time.
And
So he wanted to say, I'm worse than it.
But you know what's funny though? What did he do? To me, he was one of the innovators of that what we hear nowadays, a 3-and-D guy. He was one of them because he could hit the three. You know, that's what separated him from Dennis Rodman. Rodman, if he shot the ball, you cringed like, oh, let's not do that.
Some threes he made though.
Some
Threes he did make.
29%.
And honestly, for his position at that time, that was a good
good.
person.
29.
You know what I mean?
Or no, 26.
I didn't know it was closer to 30. It was closer.
I can't remember.
But yeah. So and here's the crazy part about it. It's funny that you bring that. I saw the 30 for 30 interview that they did with him, right? And yeah,
Look at the picture they put.
I respect the hell out that man, Dennis Rodman. Like for him to grow up the way that he grew up, and basketball, not only basketball, but that era of Detroit that he was with, he really found himself.
23%.
20. Oh shit, career?
Yeah.
Oh, with the Bulls, though, specifically.
With the Bulls, he was as high as 26. He was 11 and 23, 26,
Yeah.
23, and 17.
Okay. So, but what I'm talking about with Dennis Rodman, if y'all haven't seen that 30 for 30 interview on ESPN, definitely go check that out.
Take that.
Because you would definitely understand him a lot better. Now,
here's something that I know a lot of people didn't
his
know.
sisters dressed him up.
What a lot of people don't know about him. He did have a season where he averaged over 10 points a game. One season.
Yeah.
He had 11.6. His second
But he
year in the
wasn't
NBA.
known about that.
But here's the thing. What ended up happening, and if I remember correctly, that was his highest three-point shooting year? Yeah, it was. What I remember happening, if I remember, and I may be wrong, but it may be in the 30 for 30. He told what the hell is his name? The coach.
For what team?
The Pistons. He was with the Pistons. Pistons drafted.
Don State. What's
Shane.
Shane.
Shane?
No. I know who you're talking about, the white dude. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. I know.
But I remember he went to him. He's like, "We need defense and we need rebounding. I'm going to concentrate on that."
And here's the thing about it. Growing up, that man never found acceptance.
Chuck Daly.
That's his name.
He was a hell of a coach, man.
That man never found acceptance. He got kicked out his mama's house, and then ended up playing pickup basketball in the gym. And then somebody from Southeastern Texas University or some school saw him and had a meeting with his mom. And then he didn't even want to have a meeting. But the dude stayed for like 2 hours.
Wouldn't leave.
And so
Convinced him.
Dennis was like, all right, cool. I'll go out there. So he was out at his mom's house and ended up, and this is the crazy part about it. He ended up befriending a ball boy. That's a little kid. But Dennis Rodman. Now we're in Southeastern Texas at this time. It's the 60s, 70s. This little white kid brings a black boy to his parents' house and asks his mother, can he spend the night? And they actually befriended him, loved him, took him in, everything like that. He went to college. Next thing you know, this man's playing in professional basketball.
Considered one of the greatest rebounder of all time.
And he made his presence known in Detroit. And he said to himself, he finally found himself and found love when he started playing in Detroit. And became heartbroken when John Sally got traded.
So Here's
He
the thing
thought it
about
was going to last forever.
so, and what about him? Here's some things that people did not.
Bad Boy Pistons era. He helped comb that era. He
He
put Joe Dumars on the bench.
The thing about people don't really know about him, and this is why I think a lot of people gravitate towards him. One, he almost killed himself in '93. We almost didn't have it.
Well, here's the thing. He fell asleep. He said by the grace of God, I fell asleep. But he was just holding the rifle. He said he didn't really plan on killing himself. He did contemplate. He was thinking about it. But as he was thinking about it,
He fell asleep.
he fell asleep
That was God's intervention. Like just sleep on it. Just sleep on
in front of Auburn Palace.
it. Mm-hmm. And then as we know with the Chiefs, what happened with the one player that ended up shooting himself. So, you know.
And he had a shotgun, and they want to say that this man took his sock off and had it. You know what I mean? Hold on. If he really wanted to do that, I could believe that. But if he wanted to really do that, he would have did it. You know? Robbie, right?
I think
what it is. To that point.
Like,
They found holding it in.
It goes back to what you said about him not feeling when he finally got accepted, and then the whole falling out with Sally.
Yeah.
And then Chuck Daly kind of
he got fired or resigned. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he retired. He retired.
Yeah.
It was right after the '92 Olympics.
Yeah.
So he ended up coming back. So then it's like, what am I going to do? And nobody's here for me.
And then he tried that,
and then he heard all the rumors,
and they traded him to San Antonio, where he was like, "Just fuck y'all, man, motherfuck y'all."
And then now looking at him,
and then you went to Chicago, and Pippen didn't want him there.
Well, actually, what was funny, Pippen
didn't want him there.
It goes beyond that. Phil Jackson went to Pippen and Jordan,
and Jordan was like, "Who's going to control him?" He was all like, well, at the end of the day, we're going to have to give a little bit more leniency than what we do with other players and da. Pippen was really the one that was reluctant because they battled, especially when he was in Detroit. They battled. They fought. You know what I mean? This, that, and the third. But he reluctantly agreed. Michael said, let's run it. And they won 3 championships. And honestly, that Chicago Bulls run is what made Dennis Rodman.
No, don't say that.
Let me finish though. What I mean by that is that Chicago Bulls run era is the era, not defined them, is the era that literally solidified his Hall of Fame.
No, I won't even say that. I won't even say that. By that time, he was already 2-time champion when he went to the Bulls. Excuse me, Bills. Where the hell did that come from? They ain't never won no championship. But by the time he got there, he already won 2 championships. He was already considered one of the greatest rebounders and defensive players of all time. The thing that he did with Chicago, he gave them the edge that they lost after Horace Grant left. The fact that he actually gave them the edge, and he gave the defensive responsibility of he can guard 1 to 5. But we're only actually to guard 4 and 5. And Jordan Pippen got 1, 2, and 3.
It's funny that you bring up Horace Grant because actually, when Horace Grant went to Orlando, it resurged that man's career.
Like after Jordan retired.
Look, I saw the again 30 for 30 in regards to Orlando with Shaq and Penny. Ironically, back in the day when I used to play basketball in my kids' days, like young Penny because I was fast. Spread ball, hit the perimeter shot, whatever. You know what I mean? But that 30 for 30, how that whole team got set up with Nick Anderson being their first official draft pick.
Dennis Smith,
and then they got Shaq and then Penny coming to the fold, and all of a sudden Horace Grant coming.
Because they need the championship experience. They get somebody.
Man, and they made a deep fucking run.
But here's my thing is,
that was a great team. Honestly, like when you look back in history, that first, I'm not going to say the first year, but I would say maybe the 3rd to the 8th year of Orlando Magic's creation. Because it was an expansion team. And I can speak on it because I experienced it, right? But from the time that, even number 1, from 1 to 8, the first 8 years was dynamic, especially the first 4.
Well, not the first year. They were sorry.
They were horrible, but I'm
second year, not so
decent.
but once they
But
got
that's
the
why I
Shaq
said
pick,
like
yeah.
3rd to 8th year,
Yeah,
they were it was a great motherfucking until you know what I mean. Well, not 8th. I'm gonna say 3rd to
I'm trying to
6th or 7th year
yeah.
because it was only 4 years that Shaq was in. Because he had a 7-year contract and he only played 4 years, and then he had free agency and he went to LA. And then after that, Penny started getting hurt.
I remember their history.
And then that's when he went to Penny Hardaway went to Phoenix.
They were founded in '89. That's what I was trying to think of. How long did they? 85, 86 was the team creation.
And the thing about it, they started making a run when Jordan, that first year that Jordan retired, and then Jordan came back. And then that's when they beat Jordan. Because that's when Jordan came back with number 45, right? And then Nick Anderson said 45 and 23. And then the next game of that playoff series, Jordan came in. Yeah. That's when that
it's 92 to 96. It's a 4-year period that they actually
92, yeah.
Because they drafted Penny
93, 94. 93, 94, because they drafted Shaq first and then they drafted Penny. Because Penny did the Blue Chips movie. And that's how he got his try. Because Shaq was like, I want to play with him.
But that's what I was gonna say. Well, people don't read. So
they created the chemistry.
They did not draft Penny.
No, Chris Webber got drafted,
and they traded
for
Golden
Penny.
State.
But because Shaq wanted that, and it was like, well, we'll get a higher value for Penny if we go ahead and they didn't tell Shaq that at the time. But they drafted Chris, and Shaq was pissed. But then when Penny got drafted, there was all like, that's when David Stern said, there's a trade. And then they said, oh, yeah, well, Orlando.
It was a money thing.
Yeah.
It was a money thing. They didn't want to pay Penny that big man money. Because remember, it was still a big man game.
They had the number 1 draft.
Yeah. They did still a big man.
So I'm going to go that we get Webber, but now I got higher value for Webber. Okay, Penny, let's trade you, and we'll get some number 1 draft picks in the future.
Right.
And they built around it, and it worked. It fucking worked. Penny wanted to be in Orlando. Shaq wanted Penny in Orlando. He went to management and said, I want Penny in Orlando. They had multiple tryouts. So it's just like nowadays, who was the draft that happened where we saw the big trade, the rookie trade a couple years ago that happened in the NBA draft? There was a trade out with Albert Silver and everything. Who the fuck was it? But we was like, whoa, I think I want to say.
I feel like Houston was involved. I'm not sure.
No, Houston wasn't involved. It had to deal with motherfucking. Who was it? Indiana and motherfucking. Was it Indiana and Utah? It was one of the, but anyway, you know what I'm talking about. The big trade that happened during the draft, we're like, what? And we see it transpiring.
They're trying to compare it to the that trade of the Penny Hardaway trade. I know I have an idea what you're talking about. I can't remember who it was. But and then so you're looking at that, and then of course 94-95, that's when Jordan decided to retire. They get Hope Grant, and then Nick Anderson makes the dumbest statement of a lifetime. Yeah, the Bulls didn't win the series. But now you woke into coaching Jordan. He was just out there smiling and all that stuff. And
he's trying to enjoy retirement, and then y'all poking the bear.
Then he came out of retirement because, so here's the thing: the controversy about let's talk about that controversy about retirement. Everybody kept saying there was something coming down because of Jordan's gambling problem. No, his father was murdered. His best friend was murdered.
He was trying to redefine his life because
he
grew up playing baseball, and that's what his dad wanted him to play.
So his dad told him, you could have made the majors had you stayed playing baseball. So what did he do? And now, here's the funny thing about that, which people don't know. Jordan was starting to get great at baseball when he decided to leave baseball and go back to basketball. People don't realize it. He was he could get the first, he was just like Deion said, get first or third, and God knows, I forgot what it was. Him and Deion were about a split second on the first third when they did the side by side. Not necessarily together. But you know how they
Yeah.
with AI and stuff like that at that time, which I'm like, wow. And Jordan started learning the game. Like people don't understand. Jordan was
He played baseball before he played basketball.
he was a studious athlete. What I mean by that is he consistently studied the sport that he was in because he always wanted to be the best. He didn't want to be the worst, and he didn't want to bring his team down. Yeah, people want to look at, oh, he was only hitting 160, 175. But the thing is, his batting average was getting better. By the time he left, he was on a 10-game hitting streak, leading AAA or AA in triples. And they said, yeah, okay, I knew I could do it. I just want to see if I could.
Motherfuckers poked the bear like Forrest Grant. Scottie Pippen. He even poked the bear. He poked the bear. When you wearing his shoe and talking about come back, you poking the bear. So his ego, Jordan's ego got to him. He said, I still got something to prove.
He was like, y'all talking too much over there. He's like, who won that? I have a feeling when Houston won it back to back, he was like, oh, heck no, you're not doing a three-peat. That's what he said. No, you're not. Oh, no, sorry. They won it back to back. They won the first one. And the second one, he was like, oh,
no, they did go back to back.
They did go back. But
Houston
no.
did go back to back. When Jordan retired, Houston did go back to back. 95.
Right. But the whole thing is the second one, the second one he won, that's when he came back. That's when they beat the Magic.
Yeah.
That's when he came back for the second one. Yeah, he was like,
Yeah.
Now, Clyde about to get a title?
Yep.
No, remember Clyde?
Clyde lost to Houston, but they did go back to the finals again.
No, Clyde was with Houston. Remember? He was with Portland, then he got traded to Houston.
When Houston won the championship?
I'm talking
about when Houston went back to back.
Right. Okay. You're right. So
Smith, yeah, and then I think it was 94. Portland went against Houston in the
Western Conference.
In the Western Conference Finals, and that's when Houston won the first
one. Let's just make sure because we want to make sure we're giving y'all.
And that was 94, and then 95 was the repeat with Kenny Smith and Elijah. But Ori was gone in 95. Ori went to LA.
We know who they beat. We don't care about that. No, they beat.
Was it the Nuggets? Hold on, go back up. What did you say? No.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
Oh, that first pair.
This was also some of the Celtics and Lakers missed the playoffs. That's what it's talking about. The biggest upset came in the first round when the Nuggets came back, beating the Sonics. Remember?
Oh, okay.
Okay. That was the number one seed.
Okay.
I remember that.
So keep going. Western Conference.
Go State last playoff.
Game 3, Bulls, Cavaliers, game Nuggets, whatever. Keep going. Bracket. Indiana, New York, guys.
Why is it showing?
Conference finals. Go down.
Down.
Houston, Utah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they played Portland in the first round. That's what you were talking about. 3-1 first round. I knew you were talking because they beat Phoenix second round 4-3. They took it 7. Then they stomped Utah 4-1. Then that's when they went to 7 rounds, 7 game 7 finals with the Knicks.
Yeah, because that's the one that's the squad where they have Robert Horry. I know in 95, Robert Horry went to LA. So yeah, he went to the Lakers.
What's funny that year, so the clock incident, they didn't have that in there. God damn.
And big ups to Shaq, man, because that man is the one that redefined the basketball post.
Well, I don't think he redefined it. He just took it back to big man ball.
Because they Shaq-ified the rims.
Well, they had to.
You know what I mean? That man was breaking that shit.
But what's funny is, what people don't remember, there's another man that came out of Chicago that broke a few rims himself.
Cool. And it wasn't Jordan.
Yes, it was.
Jordan
broke a few rims.
Not as many as Shaq.
No, he didn't break as many as Shaq. What I'm saying is Jordan broke a few rims.
A couple.
And then what did they do? They changed the backboards from glass to plexiglass. Then when Shaq came, they had to make it almost like a double rim. They had to reinforce it. Because what he was doing, he was pulling the whole damn goal down on purpose. Then they said, well, we're going to start giving technicals if you keep it up. And he still did it a couple times and gave it technicals, but it is what it is at this point.
Can't get that man technicals. He's a big man.
You can give him anything. They can give him anything they want.
Nah, fuck that.
They didn't give him the foul that he was getting, though.
Well,
he would get hacked left and right. They wouldn't give it.
Well, Trump trying to get everything he wanted. We see how that's happening. Everything getting blocked. I swear to God, this man's agenda is to create so much confusion that he holds the federal courts up for like
what's funny
years.
You know what? Funny you say that. So I posted something the other day that people are saying aha to. And what it is,
The Australian that posted her citizenship.
No, not that. I forgot about that. We can mention that one too. But the other thing where this guy said, there's so many people that hate Trump that no matter what he does, they're only going to point to the negative part. That's the first part. The second thing he said is what people don't realize. I've mentioned this, and you know I've mentioned this, even mentioned it the last time we talked about Trump. He makes people communicate in the most awkward way.
I will give you that.
Because Because you know what's happening right now?
There's dialogue.
Because what happened, he came out and said, you know what? I'm gonna overtake the Palestine and rename it. And you know what's happening right now?
We're gonna take over the Gaza Strip.
You know what's happening right now? Now, guess who's coming next week? The Israelites. Guess who's coming the week after that? The Palestinian leaders. Everybody's coming to DC now to talk to him. Like, wait, you shouldn't do this. But several Israelites are like, let's do it.
Here's the thing about it. Okay. Let's say that we even take your narrative in consideration.
It's not my narrative. If you look at it, it's his history.
Well,
He makes you have to talk to people you don't want to talk to.
here's the point of what I'm trying to make. Let's keep it within country. This man creates so much confusion with what he's doing within country right now that it's
Give them the most
crazy.
recent example.
So with the tariffs,
Go on.
the tariffs, right? Okay, he wanted to enact tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China. Not even within a couple of hours before the tariffs got enacted for Mexico and China and all that, he paused the tariffs on Mexico first. I'm sure there was a payoff.
No, it's not pay off. They came to the table. They have discussion. That's already been out. So you can sit there and fluff it all you want.
And all of a sudden, a few hours later, a pause on Canada. China is retaliating.
They're trying.
Okay. Now, let's go besides the tariffs. Let's talk about government employees that are being forced out of their jobs. And there's a big confusion about that right now because a lot of government employees don't know if they're going to be walking into a job tomorrow. There are some federal employees that are being strongholded to buy out. Because apparently there's a couple of agencies that are being bought out by the government, meaning that you can take a severance for 8 months.
So in other words, the USAID.
You said
yeah.
there's a lot of government agencies.
And you said
even with the CDC, I'll even go to the CDC. They did a massive overhaul where 2,500 employees of the CDC lost their jobs because federal funding got cut. Why? Because Trump doesn't want the CDC a part of the WHO.
keep going.
So
I'm going to see if you're going to say what if you don't say it, I'm going to say it. But go ahead.
go ahead.
No, keep going.
No, say it. So I know what you're gonna say. And
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Okay. So there's a lot of scare tactics that's going on, and because of the confusion, he's not being specific enough in certain orders of what he's trying to do. Even Mark Rubio has backtracked on some shit when it comes to foreign aid. You know what I mean? He said because at one point in time, foreign aid was funding was froze, but at that same breath, Mark Rubio said, "Well, depending on what it is, and if it's in an emergency state of foreign aid, I'll release some funds." That's what he said.
What was he told about that?
I don't know.
So you got to do the research before you give a statement like that. Now you're making.
I didn't hear nothing about that. That's what I'm saying. I've been reading.
So
even Mark Rubio's been getting criticized within his own party for that.
Right. So what ended up happening with the Mark Rubio situation is they said, why is a foreign emergency more important than our own emergency?
And to certain degrees, I agree with that.
I don't. There's no degree on that.
No,
because here's the thing. Here's the thing. When they went to North Carolina, within 24 hours, what started happening? What should have happened 6 months ago.
But here's the thing: when it comes to foreign aid,
answer.
But when it comes to foreign aid, we supply a lot of inoculations in a lot of different countries that we even occupy. They rely on that.
But the whole thing is they shouldn't. That's
why not?
Because the whole thing is
we took over that territory. That's our territory.
Okay, name a territory we actually took over. Think of that. Name a territory we took over.
United States of America.
You said international, so that's not international.
Okay. You go international. Okay, certain parts of Germany, certain parts of motherfucking Africa.
So
let's took over.
So okay,
yeah, we occupy certain parts of Africa.
What
we do.
We support certain parts of Africa
and occupy.
We support
and occupy. You can't tell me that there's no United States military presence that's in places that we support. There's no mother. Get out of here, bro. I don't believe that. So if we support, then we occupy. It goes hand in hand.
I got a question for you. So you want to say we occupy? So you want to say we support? We occupy and support certain countries, so we're not supposed to take our people first.
We take
no. Answer the question. We're not supposed to take care of our people first.
We do, but we take
that
is the principle.
Here's the key. Here's the key. What I just said. You just totally missed it. If we occupy a country, we're supposed to take care of our people first, right? So therefore, who gets the aid first?
So we're like fuck everybody else.
That's not what I said. Answer the question.
Ourselves, but if there's not everybody else, we're saying fuck everybody else. I don't agree with that. If we're supporting another country that we're occupying,
so now
it should be for everybody.
Now, here's the great thing: what executive order did Biden put in the last place that nobody agreed with, but they put it on Trump because he originally made the order?
What order?
The pullouts of all foreign countries.
I didn't agree with what Biden did with that either.
But I'm not asking agreement. I'm saying he put that order in place. So now, saying that we're going to pull foreign aid, does that not kind of coincide with that same order?
In my opinion,
it's not an opinion thing I'm asking for. I'm talking about a fact. If you're talking about pull all of our troops out of these foreign countries in stages, but specifically the Middle East, pull everybody out now. Doesn't that mean we should be cutting foreign aid at the same time?
No.
Oh, so in other words, keep giving them all the foreign aid while we're pulling out.
Correct.
Okay. So now, when it comes to getting that money back, how do we get it?
Through the taxation of what? And here's the thing about it. I'm finished my statement. In regards to, and this goes back to what I was saying in the beginning. More transparency. Trump and the tariffs, to a certain degree, I agree. America over decades, it's not even just Biden, it's not Obama, it even goes back decades before that. We've been cheated out of money from other countries, other organizations. I even, to a degree, agree with what he's trying to do with the Hugh. He's trying to pull more money out of the Hugh because we've been pouring more money into them than they've been pouring into us. I get that. But the method and the way that you do it is not transparent enough to where we understand. It just seems so flamboyant, so out there that we're like, what the fuck's really going on?
So I'll put it this way: pulling the money from the WHO, it's good. The WHO is now screaming like, no, come back. Well, let's renegotiate this.
No, there's no renegotiation. You pay your due, and I agree with that.
So you agree with that, but then you want us to still provide. Think about this. You're talking about you agree with that, but you don't agree with pulling the aid from the other countries. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have both ways, either one or the other. We're pulling aid because we're not getting our just due.
But is our aid coming from the WHO? Is the WHO supplying foreign aid? Or is that aid coming from our cargo planes, our cargo ships? That shit's not coming from the WHO. That we send it directly. So that's our money. That has nothing to do with the WHO.
Well, no, because it does do with the WHO, because that's what the WHO does. They give us $3 on the dollar to provide $50 of shit. Think about it. Well, that's why he's saying, you know what? We're putting more money in this than we're getting back. Y'all want us to fuel up our planes, fill our planes, do all this with our planes, while you give us a lollipop and attaboy. That's what he said, and this needs to stop, or else y'all gonna bleed us dry, almost dry.
We're about to get drier with all the shit that's going on. I went to the goddamn store, and here's the thing: I went to this particular store. I ain't gonna name no names, Walmart. But they didn't have prices for the eggs. But I needed eggs. I normally get an 18-pack, fuck a dozen. I go through eggs. I normally gradually get an 18-pack. 18-pack lasts me a little bit, right?
Didn't he give you birds a flu shot? I'm about happy.
Man, that motherfucking 18-pack of eggs rang up to $8.18.
I believe it.
$8.18 for 18-pack of eggs, bro.
Yeah. Because this damn bird flu. That's why I said they need to
There's more than the fucking bird flu, bro.
They need to give
There's
birds
more than that than the bird flu that's going on. There's
you and your conspiracies. I'm going to say it is. That bird flu, because it has not been controlled, it's gotten out of hand. Because even if you look at farmers out here, them birds look sick as fuck.
Fuck that. I'm going to my uncle's and I'm getting me some eggs from my uncle. Fuck that.
I look at it, I was like, y'all got to be kidding. Because my wife made a cheesecake
I went to the
for
grocery store, bro. I spent $75 more than my average.
You can't talk to me about going to spend more than average. So I tell you all the time, our cheapest bill, it's still our highest bill in years. So but it went down, but it's still our highest bill in years.
This shit's getting ridiculous, bro. And then you got talking about, it's going to be bad for a minute. Prices are going to go up.
Prices are going to go up, then come down. But the whole thing is, if you don't stop the bleeding by doing what you're doing, then we're never going to get ahead. We aren't going to do it. That's why when it comes to what he's doing, yes, it is very overly dramatic.
It's over dramatic.
But here's and what the thing with the tariffs. Again, that's why I said you didn't hear about it. But Mexico and Canada came to the table like, hey man,
I was about to call with your bill. I don't know what was talked.
It's like, hey man, look, we need to talk about this. This is not right. Because the thing is, Canada's talking about putting tariffs on us, but the whole thing is you're going to hurt more when the tariffs we're putting on you because we don't put that much in there.
Here's the thing: Mexico would have hurt more. We would have hurt more if Mexico would have retaliated, because a lot of our imports come through Mexico because a lot of companies have warehouses that built some certain cars, avocados, tomatoes, a lot of produce we get that comes through Mexico.
Well, so on this side of the U.S., the East Coast, they don't get that. So you only talk about one part of the United States. You got to remember that.
Even with the cars, though, a lot of car like Honda and Kia, they got manufacturing plants.
Right, but guess what? They've been secretly putting plants here in Arizona, here in the Midwest. They're in Vegas. They're now putting plants. They've been doing it. They realize now, like,
we got a chip plant out here in Arizona, and we got motherfuckers from Thailand that's running it because Americans don't know what the fuck to do with it.
But well, it's not even that. It's the fact that
We're manufacturing chips, but don't know how to manufacture them.
There you go.
We got motherfuckers from, but you want
We
to
have
get rid of people. No.
No, he wants to get rid of the people that are here. What y'all, everyone wants to focus on immigration.
But see, that's the thing that he wasn't clarifying.
You know, he clarified. If you're here illegally doing illegal shit, you're going home.
As a criminal, yeah, I get that. If you're
if you're here illegally,
but here's the
come back legally.
Here's the thing. So you think do you think a person that jaywalks is a criminal?
It's breaking the law. So if you look at the technical term, is it not?
Okay, so a person that jaywalks
It's a technical term.
should be deported.
If they're illegal?
Yeah.
Or if they're legal?
No, they're illegal and they jaywalk.
If you're illegal, you should not be here in the first fucking place. You got people, and what I want people to understand is the people that have been illegal and did everything to do it legally, they're more upset. Anything else is that we paid thousands of dollars to be here legally, only for y'all to come here illegal, do these protests, burn the United States flag, talking about you want to be here in the United States. Help me understand that. Even other countries are looking at us. Y'all talking about you want to be in the U.S., but you're showing the wrong flag if you want to be in the U.S. You're burning the wrong flag if you want to be in the U.S. You're basically telling them you do want to go home. Your mouth is saying one thing, your actions are saying another. Remember this phrase, your actions speak louder than your words? That's what's happening, folks. The actions are speaking louder than the words. You're doing the total opposite of what you say you want.
Well, speaking about actions and words, Trump's new press secretary is a bitch. Like, oh my, how the fuck you gonna sit back and say the Constitution is unconstitutional?
You know, I had to watch that, I think 20 times.
In order for something to be unconstitutional, there would have to be a fucking constitution in the first place.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I watched it 20 times, right?
Damn. 20 20 damn. Okay.
I was gonna try and watch another 20, but then the more I watched it, the more confused
you got. Okay. All right. So we're on the same page.
So I was like, what amendment?
You fought for the Constitution, right?
What amendment?
You fought for the Bill of Rights, right? So how the fuck is the Constitution?
There are parts of it. We all know that. There are parts of it.
Needs to be right identified.
Identify it.
Now you understand my point about this administration, bro.
I'm not gonna.
Different than 2016, bro. I said this last week. This Trump year, this next Trump is different, bro.
What
it's
I do like,
scary different.
the whole thing I do like. Well, I got away from USA, but I do want to focus. I do want to say this. I like the fact that the books are open so we can see where the money's being spent. Because the funniest thing is, everybody's looking like, wait, we spent $300,000 on coffee pods? We spent Starbucks coffee pods? We spent this much money on this? This is where the taxes are going? And they, you know what they kept, remember, because what's supposed to happen with the taxes, with the states, with the country's spending? We're supposed to have what? Remember we said this last year. We're supposed to have open books so we can all go there as taxpayers to see where our money's going. We've never had that.
Still waiting for Trump to get rid of the IRS for income taxes.
Well, yeah, he tried, and it was funny. I read something today. That is very high, and that's why they're starting with USA. They're doing things. What I want to say,
if he does that,
that's 22% back in the tax.
If he does that and eliminate income taxes, so I ain't got to file motherfucking taxes no more for people.
Well, you probably happy about that. The thing is, you may have to still file state, but the whole thing, that's a very small amount compared to what you're paying, 22% Fed. And then please don't be an athlete or anything up 40%.
Here's the thing about it. Like I said, when it comes to this man, Trump, it's scary for a lot of people that live in this country for a lot of different ways because he creates that confusion in it.
Well, stop calling it confusion. Call it what it is. Chaos. Oh, that's what it is. It's not confusion. It's chaos. And it's the type of chaos that makes you look at yourself, makes you look at others. And
this is not a good chaos.
And the thing is,
it's not.
But here's the thing. It's chaos, but it has nothing to do with color of your skin. People don't realize that. This is all Americans involved, no matter.
You're right about that too. And you're right about that because I got white folks that's in interracial relationships and they're wondering about certain family members right now.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm
They were
saying?
worried about the family members for a while.
You know what I mean? Like I said, this term is way different. The tone is way different than 2016, bro.
It had to be because we're so.
It's scary.
It's not. I'm not going to say scary. I'll say it's dramatic. I'm not going to use the word scary. Scary is a word.
So you're not concerned at all?
I'm not saying I'm concerned. I'm saying.
I know. Are you saying you're not concerned?
Oh no. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're asking. No,
you're not concerned.
I'm not overly concerned like you.
Not overly, but you're not concerned at all.
I'm not concerned like that. And there's other things that's more on that impacts me that a lot more that I'm more concerned about than this.
Okay.
Because I'm seeing people's true colors. I'm seeing people that cut people off over because of vote. And let me finish this.
That's
when
getting pay cuts, bro.
But the whole thing is, it's not just veterans getting pay cuts. That's the thing.
But I'm just pointing that out. Just out of one of the sectors,
because
veterans.
Because what happens is,
you know what I mean. You're getting a pay cut.
But the whole thing is, well, here's the thing with veterans. For people, you have free meals, you have free housing for the most part, unless you live in base housing, but you have a subsidized base housing. As they're getting those pay cuts, guess what happened? The subsidized housing gets cheaper as well. So it's not.
How are you going to be able in your own house?
I'm talking about. I'm talking about active.
I'm talking about veterans. I'm not talking about the active.
Now, with the veterans getting a pay cut, most of them don't just rely on that check. There's 95% don't rely on that check. That's what people don't realize. And a lot of them do understand it's got to get worse before it gets better. What's the problem is not everybody is logical thinkers. Oh my God, it's getting worse. But is there always calm? No, there's a storm before the calm.
There's a calm before the storm. Our calm was Obama. Now we're in the storm.
Well, no, our calm was not Obama.
Yeah, it was because
it wasn't.
But now we got Trump again.
So
we're in the storm. Including Biden. Now was the storm.
So
I ain't gonna lie. Okay. Biden was a storm.
So Biden
was the storm.
So Obama's Healthcare Act was a calm?
Yeah.
So do we need to
I support Obamacare.
You're one of the very, very
I support it.
You're one of the very few Americans.
I supported it from day one and I'll stand on it now. I've never backtracked on anything that I stood on. Whether it worked or not, I stand on Obamacare.
You can stand on all you want.
It's the motherfucking other politicians in the House and the Senate that wanted to put their name on his shit. That's why it didn't work.
No, no, that's not why it didn't work. It's because he did something that even Trump's done. He decided, I'm putting this through and y'all can't stop it. Without looking at the parameters of what needs to get done. Confusion. Not looking at the parameters of what done. If he had put parameters in place with that bill,
I do agree with you on that.
If he put parameters in that bill,
and I agree with you on that because there was how you gonna say motherfuckers getting $15 insurance when I put my shit in? You talking about $350? But now there's been ramifications. You know what I mean? They took Obamacare off and put Medicare.gov or what is it called?
Healthcare.gov.
Healthcare.gov. Yeah, Healthcare.gov and shit like that. And they improved it. But the original foundation of it was Obamacare.
What the original foundation was not just Obamacare, but what was the word I've been using? Chaos. The original foundation was chaos. Because we all got penalized. Well, I didn't get penalized. I had you had healthcare too. But a lot of people that never had healthcare. If you would have filed taxes, you got penalized. So
I didn't get penalized.
You didn't and you did get penalized. That's why
I filed taxes, but I didn't get penalized.
Yeah, well, trust me, I know a lot of people that did not have Obamacare, they have any kind of healthcare coverage. And because they didn't have healthcare coverage, they did get penalized on their taxes.
I ain't gonna lie, first 2 years, I remember this. The year that Obama got in office, I was single, but the second year that Obama was in office, I met my wife. You know what I mean? Both of those years, I didn't have health care. And I was filing taxes. Didn't get penalized not once. I don't know if there was that grace period or what, but I didn't get no grace period. Okay, I didn't get penalized on tax. But I do know
there's a good friend. Matter of fact, there's a good friend that we both know that's mutual.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to mention his name on the show, but I had to help him file his taxes. When he filed it, the penalty was right there. Bam.
It did show.
Yeah, it show right away. Oh, you're being deducted $600 from your taxes because you don't have health care.
Shout out to my tax advisor. I'm not going to say the company because I'm not trying to get them in trouble. But shout out to the tax advisor that fucked with me 15 years ago because you got me out some shit. Apparently,
yeah. If you didn't, that's great. But I know a lot of people are upset with that. I've never had to have health.
Yeah. And that was something I was mad about too. I'm like, why am I required? Because at that time, I'm like, I'm not seeing no fucking doctor. I'm not, you know what I mean? Why should I pay for this? Why should I? So I kind of was on, but you know what I mean? Now that I'm older, I'm like, everybody needs health insurance. You know what I mean? I don't get
healthy or not. Healthcare age.
Everybody needs health insurance.
You can drop at some point in time.
Yeah, bro. Everybody fucking needs health insurance.
But again, there was chaos before.
This is a massive chaos.
Now, the whole thing is, looking at it, look at all the spending we had in the past 4 years. Sending money to Ukraine. I think every 4 months or every 6 months, like we were sending billions of dollars to Ukraine. Like, come on, man. And then what ended up happening? We all ended up paying for it.
No, not only that, I'll give you one better. Trump implemented the stimulus package before he got out of office. Because right at the tail end of Trump's first term, the pandemic.
Yeah, that was 2020, so that was way before the end of his term.
2016, he was in office. So 2020, the pandemic happened. That's when Biden. But he had enacted.
It was fun. I remember.
Watch this. Who passed the first stimulus package of the pandemic?
In 2021. That's when. Right, but look, ended on January 20, 2021.
It ended, but I'm saying the first one was signed by Donald Trump, right?
2020.
Yeah. So that first one was signed and everybody was gung-ho about it, right? And I'm like, well, how is the country going to get their money back? Because we all know, you give us money, you're going to want it back. At least logically, I do that, right? Then Biden did another stimulus package. I say, but he gave people the option at that time, right?
Take it or not.
And I was telling people, don't take it. Don't take it. What did 85% of the country do? Took it. Now, and then after they took it, guess what? He started giving money away. Now we're in the state that where we're at. So I get certain things of what he's trying to do in place right now. But let's be a little bit more transparent with our people, with our citizens, so we can understand your logic. Because you just doing shit, the logic doesn't make sense.
Or is it more not just the logic that's making sense, that we're just not getting what's going on?
Certain people don't.
There's no transparency.
Correct. We need transparency.
But here's the thing, like I said, when you have things like with the U.S. aid, all the books being open, when you have certain things being open to show, hey, this is where your money is. Are you happy with where it's being spent? What are people more focused on?
Certain people are happy where it's going.
No, but what are more people focused on? He's opening the book, doing what, as American people, we have the right to see. What are more people focused on?
What? You tell me.
The stuff that honestly is not going to impact your pockets. They're more focused on the people burning the wrong flag. They're more focused.
Hey, look, we love you. Tune in each and every Wednesday. We here, 2025. We got a lot to talk about.
And next week it'll probably be the Super Bowl.
This week should have been Super Bowl edition, but
not really, because who wants to talk about it?
Who do you got anyway? I'm taking Philly, bro.
see, I think everybody's the whole world. Here's the thing: the last.
I want to see Kansas City to do a 3-peat, but I'm disappointed in the season of play of what they did this year.
No, I'm disappointed that Kansas City cheats. I'm disappointed in them.
They don't deserve it this year.
No. Here's the thing: is when people have to read history. The last time a 3-peat was supposed to happen, what 2 teams were in there?
Cowboys and
Nope.
Bills.
Nope.
No, Cowboys and
Nope.
49ers.
Still wrong.
Who?
Patriots, Eagles.
Bye. All right. Until next week, bro. See you. Tune in. Fuck the Patriots.
Are you a business owner or someone looking for more ways and avenues to advertise and promote? Look no further. Contact us today for an advertisement. Email PD&J Media Productions LLC at gmail.com for more info. Promotions are everything. What are you waiting for?